Good morning, and again, I'm sorry that I'm not here with you today, but Ms. Lewis will be able to help you with any problems you have as we go through the lesson. Many of you have problems with fractions, so we're going to go back and we're going to be reviewing fractions today. And the first thing we're going to look at is how to add fractions. So the objective for today, at the end of the class, you ought to be able to add fractions, both fractions that have the same denominator and fractions that have different denominators. So what I would like to do before we get too far is go over some examples with you. Okay. The first example is very, very easy because the denominators are the same. Both of the denominators are 12. And remember that your denominator is the number that's in the bottom of your fraction, and the numerator is the number that's in the top of your fraction. And I always remember denominator for down and numerator is up. Okay, so all I have to do when my denominators are the same is add my numerators. So this becomes a very, very simple process of adding 3 and 5, and I get 8 twelfths. The important thing here, and one of the things that many of you have problems with, is you need to remember to simplify your fractions. And remember that to simplify a fraction, think about what you have to do. You have to find a number that goes into both the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to pause for just a moment, and Ms. Lewis will ask, what is the number that goes into both 8 and 12? And that number is 4. So I'm going to divide 4 into 8. And how many times does 4 go into 8? 2. And 4 into 12. And how many times does 4 go into 12? 3. So my answer is 2/3. So 3 twelfths and 5 twelfths is actually equal to 2/3 in simplest terms. Any questions so far? Okay, now we're going to look at a problem that is a little bit harder. 1/7 plus 2 21st. Here again is a place where it helps if you know your multiplication tables. If I know my multiplication tables, I know that the denominator 7 goes into 21. So I can convert 1/7 into 21, or 21st. And how do I do that? Remember that when I'm converting a number to another denominator, I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same numeral. So if I want to get 7 to 21, I have to multiply by 3. So I'm going to put a little 3 down here. So to get 1 to 21st, I have to multiply the 1 by 3. So I end up with 3 21st, because 1 times 3 is 3, and 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 21st, and when I add them together, I get 5 21st. And is there any number that goes into both 5 and 21? No, not that I can think of. So your answer is 5 21st. Any question about that one, because that's a little more difficult? Okay, now we're going to look at our third problem, which is 1/4 plus 1/3. While you'll learn different ways to do this, the easiest way is to multiply your two denominators. So 4 times 3 is 12, so that I know that I can convert 1/4 into 12ths, and I can convert 1/3 into 12ths. So let's go ahead and convert 1/4 first. So to convert this into 12, 4 goes into 12 3 times. So I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3. And that will give me 3 twelfths. Then I have to convert 1/3 also to 12ths. And 3 goes into 12 4 times. So I have to multiply the denominator and the numerator by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. So I add 3 twelfths and 4 twelfths, and I get for my answer 7 twelfths. because remember what our denominator is the same. All we have to do is add our numerators. So basically, that is the review lesson for today. Does anyone have any questions? And Ms. Lewis can answer them. Once you are done, you can go ahead and do your warm-up. And then there is a little game that you are going to play. And in the game, they're going to ask you some addition of fraction problems, some subtraction of problems of fractions, some multiplication of fraction problems, and some division of fraction problems. I don't expect you to be able to get them all correct, but I do want you to take the little quiz and your self-paced, and as you're doing it, count the ones that you get correct. So all I want to know is which ones you get correct. So you do number one and you get the correct answer, put a check mark beside number one. You do number two and you get the wrong answer, put an X mark beside number two. And there's only 10 problems, and do that for each of the 10 problems. So now you've completed your warm-up, you've done the little game, you're ready to do your classwork and your exit slip. And Ms. Lewis will give you access to those, and when you're done, you can submit them via the Dropbox or via email. Remember that when I'm not in class, everything that you do counts as a product grade, so it will count more than a process grade. So we will put the warm-up, the classwork, and the exit slip together to come up with your product grade for today. Thank you and have a good afternoon.